Welcome to the Explainer. So today, we're going to completely rethink one of the most famous, most heavily researched supplements on the entire planet. Seriously, get ready to completely shift your perspective on what it actually means to fuel your body, and honestly, more importantly, your mind. Okay, let's dive into this. When you hear the word creatine, what immediately pops into your head? You're probably thinking of gym bros, heavy weights, giant protein shakes, and physical gains, right? Because for decades, that's been the prevailing stereotype. It's the ultimate muscle builder. But we have to ask the question, is creatine really just for your muscles? Well, the short, definitive answer from the absolute latest scientific research is absolutely not. No way. We're actually in the middle of a massive paradigm shift right now. Section 1, Beyond the Gym, a new paradigm. Historically, we've kind of boxed creatine in, right? We limited it strictly to physical athletic performance, pushing heavier weights, sprinting faster, all that. But this exciting new reality we're seeing places it squarely in the realm of cognitive and mental well-being. The data we're unpacking today shows that creatine is actually this powerful, scientifically validated tool for your mood, for combating depression, and just overall brain health. So it's not just about building biceps anymore, it's literally about building a better, more resilient mind. So how exactly does this shift happen? How does a muscle supplement cross over into mental wellness? Section 2, Fueling the Brain. Let's move to and see how this builds, because it's a fascinating biological chain reaction. Think of the human brain as this ultra-high-performance engine, and it needs incredibly specific fuel. Step 1. Creatine provides raw, necessary energy directly to your neurons. To get just a little bit technical for a second, it helps rapidly replenish ATP. That's adenosine triphosphate, which is basically your brain's primary cellular currency for energy. Step 2, by doing this, it actively boosts essential energy reserves. Think of it like upgrading your brain's internal battery capacity so it never runs out of juice during heavy cognitive lifting. And step 3, with that surplus cellular power just sitting there readily available, your primary cognitive functions like memory, attention, and focus, they're significantly enhanced. Which brings us to this absolutely incredibly powerful quote straight from the source material. Increased brain energy levels from creatine are linked to improved memory, attention, and focus, promoting overall mental well-being. Now, why does this matter to us? Because this isn't just some abstract biology happening in a petri dish somewhere. This is about how sharp you feel during an important morning meeting. It's about how well you can lock in on a really complex task. And ultimately, it's about how you feel navigating the daily stressors of your life. So, we can organize these cognitive upgrades into a nice, clear framework. Section 3, Mental Health Benefits, the Rule of 3. This first benefit addresses something incredibly serious and unfortunately very widespread: clinical depression. Benefit number 1 is reducing symptoms of depression faster. The source data points to a deeply promising application of creatine in mental health treatment, where it acts not just as some passive supplement, but as a crucial, active catalyst for psychological recovery. It literally gives a fatigued brain the raw power it needs to heal. Now, what's really interesting here is when we look at cognitive behavioral therapy, which is basically the gold standard for depression treatment, used all by itself, versus that same therapy paired with creatine supplementation, a super fascinating pattern emerges. The research reveals that adding creatine helps reduce depression symptoms significantly faster than the therapy alone. By bolstering those ATP energy reserves we talked about a minute ago, it appears to give the brain the actual energetic resources it needs to process trauma, rewire neural pathways, and actively respond to the psychological treatment. But, you don't actually need to be suffering from clinical depression to experience these neurological perks. And that leads us directly to benefit 2, significant positive mood enhancement for the everyday person who's just looking to optimize their mental state, or maybe combat that annoying daily brain fog, or really just feel a bit more balanced. Creatine offers a really compelling everyday advantage. Take a look at these points, because these are just subtle, maybe I feel a tiny bit better claims. Studies show noticeable positive mood changes that actually outperform placebo treatments. That means the mood enhancements are real, they are biologically driven, and they are scientifically significant. By making sure your brain isn't literally starving for basic cellular energy on a super stressful Tuesday afternoon, your baseline mood just naturally and tangibly elevates. Okay, let's transition from everyday mental regulation to long-term neurological survival. Section 4. Future of brain health, long-term defense. So the crucial point here is this. We aren't just talking about a quick, temporary mental boost to get you through the workday. Benefit 3 is neural protection against cognitive decline. The research suggests that creatine has the potential to actually defend our nervous system from long-term degradation. It's effectively acting like a neurological shield, deployed over the entire lifespan of your brain to help fend off age-related damage. The source material points to this highly promising potential for creatine to protect against severe neurodegenerative conditions, specifically targeting Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. By maintaining high cellular energy and keeping those critical ATP levels stable over decades, creatine might actually help your most vulnerable neurons survive the kind of chronic metabolic stress that typically leads to these devastating diseases. I mean, it's a pretty profound revelation about a simple white powder currently just sitting on grocery store shelves everywhere.
Which leaves us with this final, thought-provoking question to summarize everything we've covered in today's explainer. Will the most important supplement for your mind actually come from the gym? The science is strongly pointing to yes. By viewing our brain as an energy-hungry machine that desperately needs physical fuel to maintain mental wellness, we're opening up entirely new, completely accessible avenues for cognitive health. So keep asking questions, keep seeking out the data, and definitely keep optimizing your mind. I'll see you in the next explainer.